Oh, actually, I went to go see that. What's his name? Mulatu Atsake. He's a percussionist. I think he's Ethiopian, an Ethiopian percussionist. I think he's something like in his early 70s, but he's got like great command of his band, and they're all exuberant. Like all those guys are super talented. Welcome to This Broken Mixtape, the podcast that rewinds and presses play on the soundtrack to your life. I'm Jeff Wu.
And I'm Justin Lee. So it's been another long couple of weeks, and we're actually nearing the end of the season. Well, this, in fact, will be the last episode of the season, but we kind of have some news here. Jeff, do you want to...
Yeah, so I guess this is going to be my last episode for This Broken Mixtape. I'm going to take some time to reclaim my social life a little bit. I'm a little bit burnt out, and
Jeff hasn't dated in a long time, and I've continually told him, you need to get out there, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go get out there. That's number 1 or 2 on my list, and I'm just trying to scale back on some of my freelance and just spend some time brushing up on some things that I've been meaning to do. But it's been a good run. It's been
2 years, man.
Yeah.
2 years, 77 episodes, something like that.
Is it 77?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, it's been great. It's been an amazing experience. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. I know there's going to be some format changes and some adjustments.
Yeah. So, I mean, for people that have been listening from the beginning or even just recently, what we're going to do is the start of the season, we will have new guest co-hosts. So every episode will bring a new guest co-host. In terms of finding somebody permanently, I'm still open to that, but we kind of want to just try it out and see if it's a right fit. There's going to be some previous guests that will be guest co-hosting, so I'm not going to say who they are right now, but
it's going to be fun.
yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I think like as we've been doing this podcast, it's been like sort of this learning process because, we had no idea what we were doing when we started.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a little bit of research. It was kind of learning from our errors. But I think, we've gotten it to a point where it's not perfect. It is this broken mixtape. It's basically, we try to take you on a journey. We try to teach you a little something. And I think that our guests will always teach us stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jeff and I have always said that the number one thing that we love about doing this is really just meeting these great, inspirational, talented people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
But in terms of the next month, is a storytelling event. So we're bringing some of our past guests as well as some new guests, and they're all going to kind of tell a story about how one specific album has a memory attached to it. So it could be with Rodrigo Fernandez Stoll, how he first moved into this dingy apartment downtown years ago, and he kept playing this one Miles Davis song at the time. So whenever he hears that song, it conjures that imagery. And there's going to be about 8 to 10 speakers, and then we're just going to follow it up with a dance party. So we're hoping that you guys can come out to that. We'll be posting it on our social. Of course, Jeff, you'll be there.
Yep, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and in terms of upcoming guests next season, we've got a lot in store for you. There's going to be some great artists. There's going to be some DJs, some people in food. So tune in for that.
Yeah, always looking for people in food.
For sure, yeah. That's the one category that we haven't covered enough, and
And you know, I'm not going to be active on the podcast, but you know, I'm going to be around. So
yeah, for sure.
it's it's just it's time for me to recharge a little bit.
Right, absolutely. Speaking of recharging, you know, what have you been listening to lately, and have you been to any good shows?
Oh, I've been listening to the "Always Be My Maybe" soundtrack.
Yeah,
with Randall Park.
Randall Park, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew the guy used to rap, but I mean, I was impressed.
I actually had no idea, so I just
Yeah.
watched the movie and was really impressed. I mean, I watched Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah.
He's been like fun in that. But yeah, it was great, and I think he worked with Dan the Automator
Yeah,
on producing a lot of the stuff, right?
Yeah, Dan the Automator, Lyrics Born is part of the fictional band in the movie. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Netflix. Always Be My Maybe. Randall Park, Ali Wong. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when Crazy Rich Asians came out last year, I was like, okay, I want to support this for sure. I think it's just the diversity. It's been a long time coming to have an all Asian cast in a mainstream movie. But I watched it and I didn't dislike it. It was fine, but I just didn't have strong feelings about it. And I gather that like a lot of people did, which is cool. Not my cup of tea, I think. Always Be My Maybe, more of my kind of speed, I think. Yeah, some of the jokes there were like, I mean, the D'Angelo singing scene killed me.
Yeah, it's a little bit less glam and over the top.
Yeah,
right? And
yeah, it's a
little bit
very
more real
understated
and
rom-com.
relatable.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, have you heard about all that controversy about Constance Wu?
Yeah, because
That's crazy.
right, because she had when they announced that the Fresh Out the Boat was being renewed,
Yeah.
she tweeted like,
Fucking hell.
yeah, because she
And-
wanted to do some passion project.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I just found out about that recently.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it in real time. But
I mean,
yeah.
she's pretty vocal on social, and I love her, but
Yeah.
I can understand how that could be a little disrespectful. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no,
it's
totally.
like
I
totally.
think it's absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah, like her feelings are absolutely warranted, but to actually go out and say that to like, you know, your fans, but also like your coworkers. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they've worked
It's their
hard.
livelihoods.
Yeah,
you know?
it's-
Not
that's-
everyone has the same opportunity. It's not like when good opportunities come, then you just cast off everything that kind of led you there. And
Yeah.
That's kind of, I think that's the problem. I know those feelings are sort of natural.
Yeah,
You know, like people do want to pursue things that, you know, maybe has better artistic merit, but you also don't, that's not how you treat people.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
For sure.
And then the whole thing about Believe Women was like,
Yeah,
it was crazy.
that was,
Believe men too, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
like sometimes, I don't know, like what are we talking about?
I don't know if this is a complete fair, you know, comparison, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Kevin Spacey thing when that controversy went down. And
Oh,
he was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm gay," and like he thought that was going to be his out, no pun intended. But like he thought, "Oh, that excuses all my terrible behavior
Yeah.
because
It's-
I'm coming out now. I
Yeah.
chose this moment to come out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like me delivering news that's really bad and like shaming people, and then I end it with "Let's go Raptors" because
Yeah.
like the Raptors are in the finals.
Totally, yeah. Oh, let's talk about that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we should have started the show with that. Unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have ever thought we'd be here playing like in June? First of all, it's just weird,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To see the Raptors playing in June. But this series, it's like I didn't. You know, you could dissect the last three series and this one, and you know, you might come up with some conclusions, but really, like everything seems backwards. There's no.
No, but we've
know what I
just
mean?
had their number for. I mean, we won all the regular season games.
Oh, for sure.
We match up really well against them. Like, arguably, this might be an easier series than like the Sixers and the Bucks.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the
Yeah.
Sixers was a lot. Like it didn't look like we were gonna
Yeah.
get there, but
That was us just getting sharp.
Yeah.
But yeah, my boy Alvin is
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
back from
Shout out
LA.
to Alvin.
Yeah, he's going to Game 5.
Is he? Wow.
He's going to Game 5. He's
Wow.
got some pretty insane tickets,
Yeah.
and yeah, you might see history that night
Baller
in
shot
Toronto.
caller. Holy
Yeah.
shit, man.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
it's kind of, I don't know. we've been waiting for this like for a long time. Like I actually brought Alvin to what was it, Game 5 against the 76ers in 2001.
Okay, yeah.
And that was nuts. That was like I mean, we lost that series, but
Yeah.
like that last game was like, you know, the big clutch moment for Vince.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
For
So,
sure. Did you see Vince in the pre-show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Vince is looking kind of old.
Really?
don't
I
know.
think he looks okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, everyone, we're looking kind of old.
Whoa, yeah. But Vince is what, like 41, 42?
Yeah, 41.
Yeah.
But he's playing.
Yeah.
So he looks fine to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, right now, so we're recording this. It's the Saturday after game 4.
Yeah.
And it like just yesterday it was just insane.
Yeah, because
People
we
in the
were
streets.
both watching it at separate bars, but we were both watching it at on Dundas, and a little past Dufferin, and it's it's a Dundas Street Festival this weekend, so every single bar has a patio, and it was unreal. People were just spilled out onto the streets after the game, just cheering.
Yeah.
I just heard nonstop honking.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Infinite high fives to
Yeah,
everyone,
for
to
sure.
strangers, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what Monday is going to be like. I feel like, if it does go well, that Tuesday is going to be tumbleweeds in all the offices everywhere.
Right.
Because I don't know when the parade would be, but it's just going to be bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the parade? It's usually if they're playing at home, it's the next day, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway, so moving on. So you always be my maybe was what you're listening to. Have you
Yeah.
gone to any good shows lately?
What did I go see lately? No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
I went to a few good shows. I went to go see. Well, first, I took my mom to go to Lisa Loeb a few
nice.
weeks back
Yeah,
as
yeah.
like a belated Mother's Day gift. And my mom's like, she likes music, but she doesn't, explore it. And she kind of like listens to maybe traditional Korean folk music and that sort of thing. But I played a little bit of her music for her, and she dug it, and she's like, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So it was at this theater. What is it called? The Toronto Performing Arts Theater up in North York. And yeah, she sounded great. She played obviously she played Stay.
Is that your first time seeing her?
It's my first time seeing her.
Okay.
I will say this about Lisa Loeb. She's definitely funny and charismatic, but a little bit too much talking in terms of the in-between song banter. Just a little too much. I could have done dial it down 30%. But a pretty good show. And then what else have I seen? We saw Vampire Weekend earlier this week.
Yeah.
Great show, but it was happening during Game 3.
Yeah.
And
You can't predict this stuff.
yeah. And then also just really shitty weather. Like it was raining. It was an outdoor theater at Echo Beach. So that was okay. It could have been better if it was nice and wasn't during Game 3. What else did I see this past couple of months?
Oh, actually, I went to go see that. What's his name? Mulatu at Sake.
Right.
That
You're telling
was
me.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about him, because I think a lot of
he's a percussionist. Man, where's he from? I think he's Ethiopian.
Right.
Ethiopian percussionist.
Yeah.
People might know him from the Broken Flower soundtrack.
Right.
That music.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Is it
I think he's
considered
70.
jazz or?
Yeah, it's jazz. I think he's something like in his early 70s, but he's got like great command of his band, and they're all exuberant. Like all those guys are super talented. I don't know if they're gonna end up doing their own solo thing, but he also had like the look and kind of the exuberance you could still see. He was totally into it, and the crowd was just very into it. That was at the Great Hall.
Nice.
Yeah. I think that was the last thing that I saw. It's just been a blur lately.
Yeah.
It's just been mostly Raptors. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember
Pretty much,
anything
for sure.
for the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some good shows coming up. We're going to see the Pumpkins again.
Yeah.
They're playing with Noel Gallagher's Flying Birds. And what else is coming up? I mean, this isn't until October, but we just got Wilco tickets. So
yeah.
I think
It
we're seeing.
it wouldn't be friendship without another Wilco.
Yeah, I think
show.
this is
It's been-
now our eighth. It's our eighth Wilco show, but then We've seen Jeff Tweedy a couple of times, as well as his band Tweedy. So.
Yeah, I've still yet to wear the shirt that I bought, the Tim Hortons Tweedy shirt.
Oh yeah, you got to wear that.
I gotta wear it. Yeah. What else is coming up? Man, I don't know. It's just.
I'm going to see Carly Rae Jepsen. Excited about that.
Nice. Is that soon?
No, that's not until September, I believe.
Okay.
But this summer, there's some good stuff coming up. There's tonight, Questlove is doing a free show. It's just one of those things where you have to RSVP at the Walrus. And Scratch Bastards opening, as well as our good friends, previous guests, Reverse. Reverse will be starting the night off.
Nice.
And then what else is coming up? There's so I'm really obsessed with this folk pop singer right now. Her name is Faye Webster, and she's from Atlanta of all places. 21 years old, has already put out her third album. But this is I've listened to the previous two, and they're both great. But this one is definitely her breakthrough album. I think it's funny. It's like a little self-deprecating. It's the perfect soundtrack for an Outcast, and it's folk, alt country. But then there's there's a little bit of everything. She's definitely hip hop influenced in a way. Not to say that comes out across in her music, but more so lyrically. And she's playing at the Drake Hotel in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to see that.
Nice.
Yeah. Tell us what you are hoping to get or to see from the podcast in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the co-host, guest co-host kind of thing. I think that brings an interesting dynamic.
And I think it's important that we bring in somebody, who I don't want a duplicate of me, because I don't want to talk to myself. Mm-hmm. That would be both annoying and terrible for the listeners. But I think, not always, but we're going to try our best to bring in, people of color, women, members of the LGBT community. Try to have like a more diverse, more representative vibe to it.
Yeah, no, diversity there, definitely, and I think that even between different types of art forms, I think is interesting. So, you might have like a writer and an artist or a musician, and then everyone has sort of like a different take on what everyone does. It doesn't have to be like fine artist and fine artist, or things like that. I think the more perspectives is always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to thank Jeff for starting this podcast with me and building this great network of guests and listeners. The past 2 years has been a wonderful journey, and I wish nothing but the best for Jeff. As for This Broken Mixtape, going forward, we will be right back here on June 27th with our special guest, DJ Dre Ngozi, and a brand new guest co-host, Tara Canigera. You may remember Tara from a previous show this season, and she's a wonderful singer-songwriter and trumpet player. So make sure you tune into that show, because it's going to be a great one. And on July 3rd, we have the 2nd-year anniversary party / storytelling event. So be sure to come out to Dundas Video for that one. Until next week, we'll see you then.
If you haven't already, visit thisbrokenmixtape.com to check out this episode's Spotify playlist. There you'll find all of our past interviews for each show. If you enjoyed this episode, please take the time to subscribe, rate, and share our podcast wherever you're tuning into us today. Also, if you have any comments, feedback, or ideas for guests, feel free to drop us a line through our website, Instagram, or Twitter. You can find all our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and Spotify. As always, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Cheers.